You know what? Just throw it up to Sky Jones and let's get this Clippers team back get into it to him on Monday.
99 all. The Clippers trying to come away with a win in the preseason contest here in Seattle. Williams to inbound, 4.2 to play. A bucket and the Clippers lead. Williams got to throw it in. Finds Miller, attacks the lane, lobs, Jones with a dunk, 2.2 to play. Timeout, Portland. Sky Jones with a hammer. The Clippers with a lead, 101-99.
That would be your final Clipper Nation as they got the stop on the other end, and Kai Jones with the game-winning oop off the pass from Jordan Miller. Carlo Jimenez on the call. Yeah, we're like that sometimes. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we'll get to your post-game box score, some more highlights for you, but first back to Seattle. After the Clippers win by 2 over the Portland Trail Blazers, we're rejoined by your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, I don't know if we have a connection to Coach Lou and the coaching staff. I don't know if we're being spied on, but we asked for it, and we received it as Kai Jones received that lob from Jordan Miller on the game-winning play.
I mean, Adam, let's be honest. You deserve all the credit. You literally called it before it happened. You literally said, let's just lob it to Sky Jones. Get out of here. And what do? They throw it up to Kai Jones, and he yams that thing, and they win the game. I don't know if you want to tell me the lottery winning numbers. You know, I'm here in Seattle. Supposedly a lot of people win the lottery from the state of Washington. I'd love those numbers if you could send them my way. But what a fun game. What a great game by this Clipper team. And more importantly, Adam, our chemistry is A1 right now, and it's preseason basketball. That was fun.
Yeah, midseason form from us. And Kai Jones right now is the story. We talked about him a lot in the pregame show. He was my player to watch. I didn't know it would be this dramatic late. We talked about his defense and what he was able to do, but the lobs came aplenty. As soon as Williams got into the ball game, you saw he was looking for Kai Jones early and often. The pick and roll was there as well. And he was rolling to the basket with force while getting 5 blocks on the other end, and he may just have wrapped up that two-way contract, the last one the Clippers have.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, Adonis Williams has been so good and probably made the Clippers think about it a little bit more than they thought. But after today's game and with the continued injury to Mo Bamba, I don't think you can really realistically give it to anyone else. With the way Kai Jones has been playing, he was more disciplined today. He was more comfortable. And we talked about this after the Golden State game and after we were critical of him, but he hasn't played basketball in over a year. So the fact that this is his 3rd game, he's already looking this comfortable. He's understanding his roles. Now, it's not to say it was perfect. Him and James Harden a little bit got into it when he was trying to set a screen high at the half court line. Harden didn't want the screen. They're still learning to do, but there is so much potential here, and you see why Kai Jones, when he was brought over from the Clippers, said in his press conference at the end of the year, this is the best opportunity I've ever had, and he is making the most of that opportunity right now.
I am happy for the young man. He's taken advantage of the opportunity. And you're seeing this Clippers team late with the young guys just continue to play connected basketball and impose their will. I love the way Jordan Miller, the way that lob was set up is because he was getting downhill, getting to the basket with the little southpaw floaters he was able to hit down the stretch in this game. The defense had to bring more attention his way, and he was able to find Kai Jones. But Kobe Brown had his moments. Cam Christie comes in late and immediately gets a steal and an easy layup dunk on the other end. Williams plays well again. When it was winning time, the Clippers knew they had to take over, and the young guys played a really sound brand of basketball that is wise beyond their years. You don't typically get in the preseason specifically from young players like this.
No, a poised group who didn't make many mistakes down the stretch, who shared the basketball, who ran in transition, who played to their strengths. I mean, Adam, for 3 or 4 minutes there, the Clippers had Kobe Brown as their 5, and it wasn't like Portland was getting offensive rebounds every single time down, despite having Dwight Reed and Jabari Walker on the floor, both guys who measure at 6'11 and 6'9. Kobe Brown is 6'7, but the rebounding battle was even in those minutes. A group that just played so well, that seems to find their chemistry. And again, I mean, we say it all the time on this broadcast now, but the San Diego Clippers are going to be a show. That is going to be a fun group of G Leaguers to go watch night in and night out. How about Elijah Harkless, Adam? Up 3 with 50 seconds left. He cans a corner 3. Talk about the gumption. He hasn't played all preseason, and he nails that one, signed on Wednesday. So fun. Such a good environment here in Seattle, and the play really reflected how awesome these fans are because they were into it. They were into it the entire game. Such an exciting brand of basketball to watch, and they brought the energy and the intensity, and I think made this feel like a regular season contest down the stretch.
Yeah, the young guys pulled them through. The starters, though, I love the way they got this game going with those long outlet passes, dimes from James Harden. We saw one from KPJ as well. That's a style of basketball the Clippers are trying to embrace. Tonight was a good showcase of what they can be in that area.
Yeah, look, James Harden is a big Niner fan, and I don't know if he took anything from Brock Purdy yesterday when he went and watched them play, but he was throwing some touchdowns that were 50-plus feet down the floor to his guys. I mean, it was impressive, the dimes that he was throwing out there. I don't think anyone's going to top Aldonis Williams' fake shovel, no look over the shoulder through 2 defenders. That was absolutely ridiculous. But what a Clipper team that, we often hear, Adam, and you hear this all the time in preseason with every team, we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to play faster. We're going to try to play better on defense. We're going to try to push the ball. I felt like the Clippers have been talking about for the last 2 weeks, we want to play faster. And tonight was the first time we actually saw them make that a point of emphasis. The amount of throw-ahead Kevin Love outlets we saw today was more than any of the previous 2 games combined. It was pretty fun to watch this group get out and run. And it led to a lot of success. And I think you look at the tape today and you say they should play like this every single night.
Yeah, this felt like a blueprint to Clippers offense and what their identity is going to be this season on that end, with James Harden in control, with athletes getting down the floor, doing a little bit of cherry picking when you can, beat your man down the floor. Jordan Miller was able to do it. And it's exciting, and it's a fun brand of basketball. So we got a glimpse into the future tonight here in preseason game number 3 as the Clippers come through with a victory. Kai Jones with a game-winning oop off the lob from Jordan Miller. They're victorious in Seattle, 101-99 over the Portland Trail Blazers. We're back on Monday with our first basketball game at Intuit Dome. Looking forward to that. Clippers taking on, I'd say, a pretty established rival in the Dallas Mavericks. Tip time is at 7:30. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6:30. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. We'll see you at Intuit Dome Monday night.
Adam, 6 years the Clippers announced they were going to build Intuit Dome. It's finally happening. Let's go. See you Monday.
We've reached the promised land, my friend. More Clippers postgame coming up next as they win by 2 in Seattle over the Blazers. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers win in dramatic fashion over the Portland Trailblazers in Seattle. It was a lob from Jordan Miller to Kai Jones, one of many. Clippers win 101-99, 2-1 so far in the preseason. They're back home for the first time at Intuit Dome Monday, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Welcome back into your post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, we'll sort through some more of these highlights, as we may or may not have called the final play on the air right before it went down. Not always right, but when I am, you're probably going to hear about it. It's good to be with you guys here on the Clippers Talk side on the YouTube. I'm seeing some of these messages in here. Let's talk about this post-game box score. Clippers playing more transition basketball, as I'm sure you guys took note of. They ended up with 15 assists on their 22 makes. So it was still a low-scoring affair. Half-court basketball left something to be desired. The Clippers shot just 40%, make it 41% from the floor, just 33% from distance. Is my box score right? They only took 21 three-pointers. Can that be accurate? I got to double check that. I'm going to double check that right now. I think it is. I got 7 of 21 from the outside. No, that's got to be third quarter stuff. ESPN, help me out. Update this bad boy so I can give you the right information. As the Clippers were doing damage in the second half, Kai Jones, the young guys, they were finding him. Aldonis Williams, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown. Cam Christie had a moment as soon as he got out there on the court. EJ Harkless, his defensive prowess, he came in for Bones Highland, who was putting him up from three. I think he finished 3 of 10 from distance in the ball game. The Clippers defensively is there. You could see it with the starters. They set a tone early on, and I do have an accurate final box score now. Yeah, I didn't buy that for a second. They were 9 of 36 from the outside, just 25%. Did shoot 41% from the floor overall. Here's something we like. The Clippers only had 12 turnovers after about 20 each in the first 2 games, 40 combined over the first 2. Much better job taking care of the basketball. James Harden still had 4 turnovers, but my goodness, some of those outlet passes James had to start things off, to let you know what time the Clippers were on tonight. Long outlet passes to Jordan Miller. He tried one to KPJ. He found Bones in the second quarter for a long outlet. James Harden overall, I believe, knocked down 3 3-pointers. Yeah, 3 of 6 from distance, 5 of 10 overall from the floor. 14 points to 5 assists. Still too many turnovers, but this Clippers team, I'm not worried about James Harden in the preseason whatsoever. I want you guys to know something. Derrick Jones Jr. and his 16 points, well, he didn't hit a three-pointer, but he knocked down a tough one in the midi as he took his man into the key, took him off the dribble. I liked seeing that. He missed another one in that area, but that's growth, I think, from Derrick Jones Jr. and just the array of shots he could hit. Quiet ball game overall from Terrence Mann, although he might have had the first points of the game, I think, with the layup, but just 4 points, 1 of 3. 5 boards. That's good to see. Clippers overall, they did lose the battle of the boards 47-43, but they matched them when it came to offensive rebounds. Both teams had 10 there. Amir Coffey was also in the starting lineup tonight. 3rd straight different starting lineup for this team. Off the bench, Jordan Miller with 15 points, and it's just light work for him. The reason he was able to get that lob off to Kai Jones is because the defensive attention went his way, because he was making shots late, because he was using those left-handed runners, floaters. It seems so automatic from Jordan Miller. Struggled a little bit from beyond the arc, did get 1 of 4 three-pointers attempted to fall. I mentioned Bones Highland. Overall, just 4 of 15, 3 of 11 from 3, did get to 14 points, got up 15 shots in 18 minutes. He was certainly aggressive out there. Kevin Porter Jr., 3 of 10 with 6 points. I don't think scored in the first half. The Clippers, though, they go on to win off a lob to Kai Jones from Jordan Miller with 2 seconds left in Seattle. They win over the Blazers by 2. Final score 101-99. Coming up next, more post-game highlights, more of your comments. Physical game from start to finish, says Amin Ashan on the YouTube Live. I agree. They're starting to reveal their identity. You're seeing it. Offensively tonight, Coach Lou said, we want to play faster. We want more long outlet advanced passes. They had him in spades tonight, and they kept it going for 4 quarters. More Clippers post game next, right here on the Patriot AM 1150 and the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Welcome back into your post-game show. This is Clippers Locker Room. They win 101-99 in Seattle over the Portland Trail Blazers. Good to be with you guys. If you're watching on the YouTube live side at Clippers Talk, appreciate you. Kai Jones, the game-winning oop from Jordan Miller. Guys, I've been talking a lot about Kai Jones. And the funny thing about young players is you don't know how quickly they can develop. I don't know if he's NBA ready as the backup big for the Clippers with Mo Bamba out currently, but he may need to be. We don't really know the status of Mo Bamba. Third straight game he's missed with a right knee, I want to say a knee issue. I don't want to give any specifics when I don't have them yet. But Kai Jones is growing leaps and bounds, you could say, from game 1 to game 2. And then tonight in Seattle, I said in the pregame show, the Clippers have a guy that could do his own Rain Man impression, his own Sean Kemp impression. That's what you saw. I don't know if he said this one was dedicated to Sean Kemp, who was courtside with his lob partner and Gary Payton, who threw many to him in Seattle. Bring back the Supersonics, please. But Kai Jones ended up with just 8 points. I believe all 8 were dunks. 4 of 8, but the game winner off the pass from Jordan Miller. And I was impressed. Once again, I've been talking about this. His wind, because of his cardio background, because of his track and field background, Kai Jones doesn't get tired. He played 28 minutes, and his final minute, he looked just as spry, just as athletic, just as freaky with the athleticism as he did his first minute. That's special. He had 5 blocks. He had an emphatic one on Scoot Henderson, probably the most impressive one. Is it hard to know his potential yet because the level of competition? Yeah, it's preseason. They're playing the Blazers. He was good against Portland tonight and against Brooklyn on Tuesday night. But I love the energy he's bringing. I love the spirit he plays with, and his effort was better defensively. He still had moments where he wasn't setting hard screens at all, and he got lost on the defensive end. It was up and down, but mostly ups for Kai Jones, as you would imagine. Here was the final play, as I guess Carlo and I drew it up before it happened here. I'm not saying we're Mensa men or anything like that, but I don't know. We had a premonition, I guess. Here was your final. You know what? Just throw it up to Sky Jones and let's get this Clippers team back and into it to him on Monday.
99 all. The Clippers trying to come away with a win in the preseason contest here in Seattle. Williams to inbound, 4.2 to play. A bucket and the Clippers lead. Williams got to throw it in. Finds Miller, attacks the lane, lobs, Jones with a dunk, 2.2 to play. Timeout, Portland. Sky Jones with a hammer. The Clippers with a lead, 101-99.
Here's what I like. I tested out Sky Jones right before it happened. Carlo used Sky Jones after it happened. Beautiful call by Carlo Jimenez. And a nice victory. You'll take him even in the preseason. If you're going to play, you might as well win. Yeah, it's a learning experience. That's what's most important. But big opportunity for the young guys. Huge opportunity for Sky Jones. How can he not get the last two-way contract? As you guys are replying here on the YouTube side, Mike Dang saying Sky Jones getting better each game. Last game with dunks. This game with stocks, blocks. Love it. Yeah, he's learning quickly. He's picking things up. There's a lot to iron out still. But in case of emergency break glass right now, if Mo Bamba can't go, I'm feeling a little bit better about Sky. We're out of here, but I can do some Clippers talk after dark if you guys want to hang around. You tell me here in the comments section. Got to leave you on the radio side till Monday night. Clippers taking on the Dallas Mavericks at Intuit Dome. First game there. Going to break it in. 7:30 tip against the Dallas Mavericks, 6:30 pregame. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Big Brother Jake Warner, Katie Newton back in the bank, our producer, the callers, the listeners, okay, the chatters, the listeners tonight. Callers soon when we get to regular season with Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Moslin. Talk to you Monday night at Intuit Dome. Check, check, 1, 2. I think we're okay. I think we can still talk. Can you guys still hear me? Do you want to do some Clippers talk after dark? Katie Newton's sweating it right now. What? What's up? Producer Katie Newton handling it all. You guys want to hang? You guys want to talk Kai Jones? I'm up for it. It's Friday night. I know the Dodgers are stealing all the headlines. Congrats to them moving on to the NLCS. But Los Angeles Clippers take down the Portland Trail Blazers in Seattle 101-99. Maybe I'll put a tweet up and say we're doing some Clippers talk after dark here because it's fun. Because normally we'd still be going post game on the radio side, but not until the regular season. Let me just get this tweet up for you guys. You can get some questions in. Clippers talk after dark. Yes, we are going to discuss Kai Jones. Couldn't be happier for him. This is fun. This is the type of player. And as hard as I have been and some people have been about his footwork and how far away he could be from getting real NBA minutes, look, we don't know the status of Mo Bamba right now. The Clippers don't have any other options. So how you feeling about Kai Jones if they do have to use him opening night? This is the question. I think Mo Bamba's going to be okay just because he is dressed for practice. I've seen him in walkthroughs, but he hasn't played in a preseason game yet. Now, Coach Lou has talked about it and discussed if he doesn't play at all in the preseason, can he still go opening night? I think he's comfortable with Mo Bamba. He has a large body of work. Kai Jones, meanwhile, has only played 613 minutes so far in his young NBA career. But I want to give him all the credit in the world for taking to coaching the way he has, for developing from game to game and showing you a little something different. As Chris Gomez wants to say, Kai Jones has become DeAndre Jordan potential. I brought him up. It took DeAndre years to get to playing at an all-star level, to get to being an all-defensive guy. But freakish athlete, the similarities, the parallels are obvious with Kai Jones. I don't know what it's going to look like against NBA players and not second and third unit guys, but I'm intrigued. He had a miscue with James Harden on a lob early in this game. He got some minutes on the court with James, like Coach Lou said. He was looking to see. The comic stand Los Angeles says Kai Jones looks to be learning quick. Hopefully there can be a good backup for Zubas to keep him fresh throughout the season. Regardless, he gets a two-way. That means he can play in 41 games at the NBA level. And I think he needs as many reps as he can get in the G League. So I wouldn't expect, even if he gets the two-way, which he likely will at this point, him to get run early on. I wouldn't. That's unrealistic. But what can he show us in the meantime here with 2 preseason games left at Intuit Dome? And yeah, I'm going with the Sky Jones nickname. I don't need credit that much. It's not bad. It's not bad, especially since it was born off of a game-winning alley-oop now. Carlo Jimenez, you heard it. You heard it. We'll see. Maybe we'll get a chance to ask Kai Jones what he thinks of it. Clipper Chaos 3 says, Kai needs confidence. I feel like this gameplay helps a ton. A lot of it is. You look at game 1 less than a week ago in Honolulu and how out of place he was at times. The first time he touched the basketball, his foot was out of bounds. There was zero court awareness. Now tonight, well, he did have a play where he was out of bounds and let himself get shoved out of bounds. There were some downs still, trust me. But tonight, 5 blocks. As Jormy Mormon saying, those blocks were crazy. The comic stand Los Angeles said Lob City 2.0. It's going to take time still. But if Mo Bamba's out, you may see him for 10 minutes in a regular season game early on. Out of necessity. I don't know what he's going to look like against high-level talent. That hasn't occurred yet. But what is encouraging is he's getting better by the game. Progress is not linear, except with Sky Jones. I'm mostly kidding. I'm kidding. But every game he's looked a little bit better. And even though he had less points this game, okay, he still had the game-winning throwdown. And 5 blocks is more meaningful to me. Looking more assertive and comfortable defensively and making guys pay and think about taking shots at the rim, that's important. He got Scoot Henderson with a block, guys. Now, I know Scoot's still a very young player, but probably going to be starting games and playing heavy minutes for the Portland Trail Blazers. I'll take that. So he had a block at the 4-minute mark of the first, Kai. Then he couldn't catch that lob I mentioned from James Harden. Then he had a dunk off a nice feed. Kai had a huge block then on Scoot Henderson. A tip out to KPJ, which I liked seeing too, doing the little things. Then And he didn't set the screen, got beat for a push shot on the other end, not staying with his man. So there's the negative stuff. But then another block. And then Amir got a bucket in transition off of it. Then Kai missed a dunk off of a nice pass from Kobe. Then he missed the push shot after Kobe got it back to him, I think, or the ball was bouncing around. And he just did not go up strong enough at all. And then he was shoved out of bounds, as I mentioned, at one point in the second half, fourth quarter. But then he had a block, and then Bones, I think, had the layup on the other end, or it was Williams, who had the putback off the missed layup from Bones. Aldonis Williams, who looked good again, too. But then Kai, another lob off a pass from Man. Aldonis Williams. Another one out of a timeout. Then he had a steal, which ended up in a EJ Harkless 3. And then, of course, the final call with that out-of-bounds play with Jordan Miller finding Kai Jones. I'm making Sky Jones a thing. Mike, dang, you ain't got to worry about that. It does make too much sense. Hit me right between the eyes like a diamond bullet. It was too easy. The blocks, the dunks, the ability to run the floor like a damn gazelle out there. Kai Jones is special, guys. Jeremy Mormon talked about taking it full court. You're talking about the steal leading to the Harkless 3, I think, where Kai Jones brought it up into the front court. He does have some handle to him. Saw it in San Diego on Tuesday night as well. And then waited for the cavalry to arrive wisely. Very smart on his part. Slowed things down, backed it out. And I'm going to say this. One of my favorite things about him so far is how quickly he passes the basketball when he knows he's not taking that shot, a long two or a three-pointer. He keeps the hot potato moving. He finds his guards quickly. I love seeing that. Himothy says Harkless is another player need to be watching. He's out there chasing every player looking like Bev. Yeah. EJ Harkless is his skill set. That's his wheelhouse. This is somebody that just wants to play a ton of defense for you. What was interesting, though, from me was EJ Harkless. You know what? Speaking of me, I want you guys to hear this. What, Katie? Self-serving much? Yeah. I want you to hear the final call again. I'm not Nostradamus, but broken clock is right twice a day. You know what? Just throw it up to Sky Jones and let's get this Clippers team back and into it to him on Monday.
99 all. The Clippers trying to come away with a win in the preseason contest here in Seattle. Williams to inbound, 4.2 to play. A bucket and the Clippers lead. Williams got to throw it in. Finds Miller, attacks the lane, lobs, Jones with a dunk, 2.2 to play. Timeout, Portland. Sky Jones with a hammer. The Clippers with a lead, 101-99.
Was that it? A Star is Born? Sky Jones? I don't know. Should we hear it again? I'm just playing. Maybe in a little bit. I'm not saying I called it, but I kind of called it. Now, is it obvious because it was working so well with all those lobs? By Katie Newton. You guys want to see Katie? Hey, it's producer Katie. Clippers After Dark. I got to post the podcast. Wait till she leaves. I'm going to talk so much S. Nah, just kidding. We love Katie Newton here.
And yet you're still talking about me.
She loves it too. Katie Newton. Like Sky Jones, guys. Trademark that, Adam. I'd have to have a product to do that. I don't have one. But there's something to it. It's so fitting. And I don't know. What can you say about the guy? I've been posting clips from him after the game Tuesday night because I was already falling in love with his energy and the way he was just so available with reporters and giving them insight on where he's at with his game maybe I'll play something for you here, because this was Kai Jones Tuesday night answering a question that I thought was very appropriate because he missed a couple of gimmies in that game. I was like, what do you, just dunk it, man. Don't lay it up. Just dunk the ball. You can do it every time. Now, he still missed one in this game, but here was Kai Jones Tuesday night post game.
Better, like do a couple of finishes around the rim. First finish, I feel like I could have dunked that, but I just tried to hook it, and then he got to it. And then the next one, I tried to dunk it, but I ended up just laying it. So I think just trusting my body and going up strong every time that I get the ball, I think I should err on the side of dunking. That seems to work out well for me. So I'll just try to dunk everything, yo.
I think he followed through on that tonight. I think he did an okay job. You patent a product, you can trademark a name. Sky Jones. Yeah, I'll look into it. It was said first by me right before it happened. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the young man and how the Clippers haven't had a player like this since DeAndre Jordan. Some of you are talking about Bones Highland and his trade value going up after tonight. Maybe that's why he was out there. Norman Powell was out with a back injury. I talked with Lob Murray about it pregame. He's not overly concerned. The team's not overly concerned about it. It's preseason. He looked great the first 2 games, didn't fly with the team to Seattle. So, other guys got an opportunity out there. We were talking about this recently on the show. Amir Coffey got the start. Amir Coffey can help this team. If Kawhi Leonard's out, he can play some 4, guys. I know his rebounding has to improve. It does. But he's a big body. He's athletic. There's no reason he can't be a better rebounder. So he played 25% of his minutes at power forward last year. That's an option for the Clippers. That could be part of the solution to a starting lineup. He started a ton for them at the end of last season when Kawhi was out and into the playoffs. And he looked solid tonight. Wasn't a great game, just 4 points in 21 minutes. Did hit a jumper. I like Amir Coffey in that position should they choose to go with it. Now, if Norman Powell was available, I'm guessing it's still him probably on the outside looking in. But he's bigger than Derrick Jones Jr. if you want somebody to play the 4. And I should say, Derrick Jones Jr. in this game, he had a nice steal right off the bat. He had that mid-range bucket at the 7:30 mark of the second. And that was something that made me raise an eyebrow. Okay. Derrick Jones Jr., confident getting to his mid-range, took his man off the dribble, crossed the lane, faded away. That could be big if that's something in his arsenal. And then, of course, he had a big throwdown in transition off a pass from James Harden. Oh, Oscar Burroughs Rangel says, I love Bones. I do too. I don't want to see him go. Himothy said, how did Bones Highland's value go up after going 4 of 15 and struggling to create? I think there's enough body of work wise. Guys, you want to talk about Bones struggling in a preseason game? Who cares? You know what NBA teams are going to look at? He's had big playoff games before. This is not going to define whether or not they're able to move him. I'm sure there's a team that is willing to trade for him. The problem is if you're trying to move him with PJ Tucker, things could get a little bit complicated. Bones Highland has had a big playoff game for the Denver Nuggets, a big playoff game for the Clippers. He had 37 last year in a game near the end of the season for the Clippers. Bones Highland has, while a young player, some highlights in a resume that you can look to. Clipper Chaos says, Coffey or Miller would be part of a trade. I don't think they would trade Miller. Coffey, maybe. I hope not. I love Amir Coffey, but they're going to have to make some move here, likely with PJ Tucker, as we talked about on Clippers Talk on YouTube all week. And who else is included in that move? And what do you get back? And how do you open up more time for the young guys? How does Jordan Miller get time? Jordan Miller finally got some run with more of a starting unit out there. He came into the game early. He got the cherry pick and layup off the long outlet pass from James Harden. Then he got to the free throw line a couple of times. Then a far side corner three to start the second. His defense led to a zoo steal at one point underneath the basket near the baseline. He got downhill in the second half, missed one, got his own board, got a putback. What I'm interested with Jordan Miller is two things. Can he hit threes? He didn't last year in the G League. He shot 31% from three. He did in Summer League, smaller sample size. Can he hit threes? And can he board? Because in the Summer League and in the preseason, Jordan Miller absolutely can move bodies. He plays strong when it comes to corralling rebounds. He did pick up his fourth foul. It was an offensive foul. I think it was his fourth foul. Regardless, an offensive foul in the game where I wondered, are teams going to bait him into that because of his propensity to drive and get downhill? How many guys, once they actually scout Jordan Miller, are going to be waiting for him in the lane because they know that's such a big part of his game? But Miller floater with 6 minutes left. Miller lefty layup. Another Miller bucket late. And then the lob to Kai Jones. There's enough there where I want to see more of him going up against first units. That's what I want to see. Yes, we know Bones Highland likes to get into his bag. We also know he has a pretty decent sample size of being an off the dribble, solid 3-point shooter. Like it's real. He will put them up from three. They weren't going much. I know. He was, I think, 3 of 12 from the outside. But if you're judging Bones Highland off the preseason, when he's had big playoff games and 37 in a regular season game for the Clippers last season, I think you're missing the mark a little bit. Jeremy Mormon pointed out how Miller can draw fouls. Look, that last play to Kai Jones was created off the fact that they had to account, the Blazers, for him getting downhill with a floater. Evil Bot Adam says, trade PJ and Brown. Is he going with the Chuck Mockler avatar now? Trade PJ and Brown and 2 second-round picks to the Knicks for Mitchell and send him to the Pelicans for Herb Jones. Pelicans aren't doing that for Herb Jones. Evil Bot going straight casual with it right now. Herb Jones is on a pretty team-friendly contract that he just signed, I think, last season. Just because you think, oh, they're desperate for a center, that they'll do this? Hell no. They would not do that. Clipper Chaos 3 says, how about Tucker in a Chuck Mockler hat? Podcast worn for a solid piece. That's kind of funny. Clippers win tonight by 2 after this play where Kai Jones once again went Sky Jones. You know what? Just throw it up to Sky Jones and let's get this Clippers team back and into it to them on Monday.
99 all. The Clippers trying to come away with a win in the preseason contest here in Seattle. Williams to inbound, 4.2 to play. A bucket and the Clippers lead. Williams got to throw it in. Finds Miller, attacks the lane, lobs, Jones with a dunk, 2.2 to play. Timeout, Portland. Sky Jones with a hammer. The Clippers with a lead, 101-99.
Was something born out of that oop to Sky Jones tonight. I'm going to be hitting Chuck Mockler and Will Updike with that a lot. Not going to be able to contain myself. Jordan says we need to package some guards for Ben Simmons to get some size. Did you watch Ben Simmons the other night? Have you watched him the last 2 seasons? Do you know what his contract is? Jeez. I don't know if some of you guys have paid attention. He's played like 40 games the last 2 seasons. You want another guy who's injury prone? Ugh. Clipper Chaos says, haha. Thanks, Adam. I thought it was funny too. Sky Jones is the story. My guy Chris Wild hit me up. The wild one. He said Kai Jones is becoming rapidly his favorite Clipper. Hey, if Mo Bamba's out, they're going to have to use him. I have to see if Kai Jones can play at a high level against ones, against teams starting centers and backup centers, and not just bad teams who are playing their third string and G League guys in the Brooklyn Nets and tonight in the Portland Trail Blazers. But get excited. Uh-oh. Shanae Shake says, LOL, Adam, get over yourself. You're going to play that all night, huh? Well, since you asked. You know what? All right. I'm just kidding. We called it. It pays to listen to the Clippers broadcast on the radio, too. I couldn't be more proud, though, of Kai Jones. I just want to see what he can do. I said the same thing for Jordan Miller. If guys keep succeeding against lesser players, against backups, and they're clearing these hurdles, and you feel like they're passing all these tests, you got to challenge them. So we'll see what happens against Dallas. They got some good big men. I don't know how many of them are going to be playing in preseason Monday night, but Kai Jones against Gafford or Derek Lively. Could we see some of that? Timothy says, we are playing Mavs in 2 days. Let's see how he does against the Lively and DJ. Yeah, we're same. Great minds think alike. Same wavelength here. Shayna, I mispronounced it. My bad. Jordan says, always sighing at my comments. What do you mean? Weren't you laughing last month when you said KPJ can be a starter, 6-man off the bench role, and Kai Jones can be a backup center? I don't know what you said recently or not. That Mexican Nara. Tucker in a second for Dwight Powell. Huh. Dwight Powell. I don't know. That doesn't cure any of the issues at power forward. You're talking about for a backup big man, a center. I don't know. It's not one of the crazier things I've seen in here. Dallas and the Kings are good. Way to end the preseason with 2 teams that are likely playoff teams in the Western Conference. Yeah. So we'll get a little bit more of a test for the Clippers to see what they can do against higher level competition. Level of competition is everything, guys. It is so hard to grade. That's why you see like 5-star recruits, they end up becoming nothing because you don't know who they're playing against. It's really difficult. Mike Dang says Zoo can play other teams starting center. Most teams' backup centers drop off in talent. Yes. So as long as Sky keeps improving, we're just calling him Sky now, not even Jones. We can keep developing him. This is the point that I've always made. Everyone has said so much negative stuff about the Clippers and their backup center situation. And it's like, guys, name me how many teams have a great backup center situation. Name them. There's like a handful. Please, it's not just the Clippers dealing with that. That's a little bit myopic. You're only watching this team. It's hard to find quality backup centers. Like the Knicks had it last year, of course, with Mitchell Robinson, and then they had Isaiah Hartenstein, who the Clippers had a couple years ago. I don't want to go down that road. Clipper Chaos says, are you talking back to Himothy? Himothy's talking about Batum being old, Ty Lue not going to overplay him in the preseason. Yeah, makes sense, right? The Wolves, there's one. Jeremy Mormon said that. Do they still? It's kind of awkward now because Naz Reid, I think, might start. Maybe he won't. I love Naz Reid. Son of a clip said team chemistry is growing. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about how there was real good process out there with how they need to play offensively this season. You saw it immediately with all those long outlet passes. That was adhering to the game plan. That's something the Clippers have talked about in training camp, in the preseason. It finally played out that way. It was James Harden throwing multiple long passes, advanced passes, pushing the pace, getting out running in transition. The Clippers have to not only be more athletic, they have to take advantage of it. They have the guys to do so, but they have to have the right playing style as well. And we saw a lot of that tonight. That was really encouraging to me. James Harden just had some crazy Brock Purdy-like passes since they were watching that San Francisco-Seattle game the other night. And he took a picture with them, I think, and some of the guys, maybe Deebo Samuel. But I need to see more of that brand of basketball from the Clippers moving forward the last two games against better competition with Dallas, with Sacramento. But that's big to me. KPJ got into the act too. He had the long outlet pass to DJ after some good defense. It can be contagious. They just have to get more easy buckets because at times, I'm here to tell you, they're going to struggle in transition. Jordan says, I was referencing last month or so. I said KPJ can be a starter and Kai Jones can be a backup center, and you called me a casual for that. Linker, didn't happen, bro. And you got to put a timeline on these things, or else you're going to sound like me. Where I said, I think at some point KPJ could be the starting two. When is some point? I didn't define it. It could be next year. The comic stand Los Angeles said, KPJ moved the ball well, got 4 assists tonight. I thought he did. He made some better passes. This is something they're going to need out of him. He had a nice dish. Was it to Zubats? Who was it to? Somebody blew the basket. It might have been Big Zoo. Yeah, he tried it with the left-handed hook shot, but it was a good dish off the pick and roll from KPJ. He's capable of that. He also had a spinning layup in the third quarter, and then a little 8-footer. But I didn't like one of the negatives from him was 9-minute mark. I don't know if this was first or second quarter. I think second quarter. He took a long 2, like an analytics nightmare. There's no reason to take that long of a 2. Just take a 3-pointer. And it was a no pass into the half court offense. He brought it up, didn't pass it, looked around for a second, and then just settled for a long 2. Bad basketball. I'm sure coaches will get on him for that. Mike Dang says it's okay to be a casual fan. Not everyone has time to be diehards. It is okay. Oh, you guys are taking casual as a negative? Jeremy Mormon said KPJ could play defense if he wanted to. He has the tools. I agree. There's a mixtape out on YouTube. He can. The comic stand Los Angeles says, and change the name, it's rough. KPJ 8 assists his last 2 games. He's had some turnovers. Got to be better in that area. What did he end up with, though, tonight? Just 1 turnover to 4 assists. We'll take that all day. Tuesday night was rough in that area for everyone. This was also good process and a good example, or a better example, of how the Clippers need to play on offense. Not only were they throwing the long outlet passes, not only did they match the offensive boards of the Portland Trail Blazers, both teams had 10, but they only had 12 turnovers after having, I think, 21 and then 19 Tuesday night. So the first 2 games, about 40 turnovers combined. Tonight, just 12. And 4 of them came from James Harden, which you don't expect. Much better in that area. They were just crisper, sounder offensively, executing at a higher level. Still in the half court, they need to be much better. That Mexican Nara said Miller should get some meaningful minutes next season. For that to be the case, I think they still have to make some moves. ST said the only time to take a long two is on the toilet. Clippers talk after dark. I don't know what you guys expected. That's it's not funny. I'm not laughing about that. Something totally unrelated. So let's see. Fast break points total. The Clippers had 16 to 13 for Portland. Like that. Second chance points, 17 to 14 in favor of the Clippers. And then points in the paint, 52 to 44. All good things. That's what we like to see. And this is still Terrence Mann only played 18 minutes, only had 4 points. James Harden had 4 turnovers. Like, some guys obviously struggled. They only scored 101 points. They shot 41% from the floor. But there are some real good signs with how they need to play offensively. I'm definitely going to do a show tomorrow because I think it's getting to that point where I'm doing shows every day at Clippers Talk. Every day. And I'll break down some of the post-game audio we get out of this game from Coach Lou and the players and Kai Jones, who I am very proud of. Easy to root for him. Had some mental health issues. Sounds like he's worked through all that. I want to see this guy thrive as a Clipper. Give him the two-way. He's earned it by his two-way play. Tonight, 5 blocks. Yeah, I was worried a little bit also about Derrick Jones Jr. for a second. And then he was holding the knee at the free throw line, but then he played a chunk of minutes more, so I don't think it was anything after he took a tough fall, that Mexican Nara. Okay. MKX LNT said you held the opponent under 100. That's true. The defense was good, guys. The defense has been good, as expected so far in the preseason. They held Portland to 41% from the floor, 10 of 31 from distance. The Clippers also were just 9 of 36 from 3. I like the fact they got up 36. Last year, they averaged 34 threes per game. I want to see them around 37 or 38 per game this season. They have to play more of the analytics game because there's going to be a talent disparity a lot of nights, depending on if Kawhi is available. They have to get up more threes. They do. Chris Dunn didn't play. I don't know if there's anything to read into that. I'm going to say there's not. I think he showed who he is the first 2 games defensively. They know what they have. I think they just want to give other players and younger players more of a look. Chris Dunn doesn't need to play. He's 30. He's a finished, I think for the most part, a finished product. Although his three-point shooting is still a bit of a question mark because the last 88 games or so, he shot above 40% from 3 in Utah the last 2 years. But before that, he wasn't a big-time three-point shooter. So, still things to learn, but Kai Jones, obviously the story. And I've been pumping him up. I've talked about the downside and the ups and downs in his game. You're going to get that from young players and a guy who is just so raw. But do the positives outweigh the negatives against better competition is what I wonder. Maybe he'll get his shot in the last 2 games. I could see maybe Big Zoo doesn't play one of the last 2 games. I could definitely see that. You want Kai Jones to get more minutes with James Harden, and hey, he'll probably miss one of the last 2 games too. Typically, starters get their minutes ramped down as we get closer to the season in the preseason. That Mexican Nara said, can we talk about Batum? It was great to see him out there. Can we? He played 8 minutes. Didn't play much. You don't need to see much from Nico Batum. It's always great to see him. Just, I think they're holding him back a little bit. Played a lot of Olympic basketball. Guys, he was playing heavy minutes for the French national team that got to the gold medal game against Team USA. I think he led them in minutes. That's crazy because he's still a great defender. And against SGA, he had to guard him. Against Dennis Schroeder with Germany, he had to guard him. Shout out Seattle, by the way. I do want to emphasize hashtag SonicsGate. They never should have lost the team. They need to get the Sonics back. Warmed my heart seeing Sean Kemp and Gary Payton courtside. I heard Detlef Schrempf was in the building. I saw George Karl, Shard Lewis. Awesome. That was and is still a great basketball city. They did not deserve to have a team ripped from them. Eugene Lim says, can we trade Bones plus Coffee plus PJ Tucker to a tanking team, maybe for Kuzma? They're not doing that for Kuzma, dude. They can get more than that for Kyle Kuzma. You're out of your mind. Guys, teams aren't like lining up to help the Clippers. The Clippers aren't lining up to help other teams. It takes two teams to meet somewhere in the middle, a trade that can benefit both of them. Eugene, I like Kyle Kuzma. I'd like to get Kyle Kuzma. A first-round swap. Yeah, they have all these first-round pick swaps to throw around. A first-round pick swap with a team that's going to finish with a top 5 pick? Like, what? I'm sorry. My brain just melted a little bit. Can we get a better question, please? I need to cleanse the palate. Dear God, I do have my Dr. Pepper cherry zero sugar here. I don't know. It may be getting a little bit too dark. Clippers talk after dark. Eugene Lin, 2030. You want to give up their last first-round pick that they have available for Kyle Kuzma for a team that may not be competing for a championship if Kawhi can't stay healthy? I don't know if that's the move, man. You need to see where Kawhi is at before you make a decision like this to go all in again. And you need to really consider it. Okay? It's a swap. Why are they going to do a swap? Why would they swap with the Clippers? So the Clippers can... I got to move on from this. Oh, he concedes. Finally, logic, rationale, Spock talk got us off of that. Jordan Miller, guys, 6 of 12, 1 of 4 from distance, 15 points, led the backups in scoring. And I keep saying this, but I mean it. The game is too easy for Jordan Miller. It looks too easy. I want more with him against first units. More. Joe Rosenfeld says, Adam Driver gift, what is the best chip and dip to pair with the Diet Dr. Pepper Cherry? Probably just like Tostitos. You know, their medium queso. That does the job every time. I don't complain much about that. Kind of sounds good, actually. So I stopped by a Ralph's. Is there a Ralph's around here? You guys Lebowski fans? All right. All right. I'm going to do another pod tomorrow. I am hungry. I'm out of here. Joe Rosenfeld blew this for you guys. He reminded me of food, and now I got to go. It's been Clippers Talk After Dark. Tomorrow, we'll have another Clippers Talk Live. I don't know when the least eventful time during the day on a Saturday of college football is happening, because I know most people are going to be watching it, but I still got work to do here. There's work to be done with Kai Jones, with this young second unit. Things to be done. Oh, Eugene Lin says, by the way, thanks for the hard work you put in for the team. I respect it and listen often. Respect you for respecting me. Appreciate you. Have a night, man. You know how we'll close things out? Next week. Oh, you're going to be at the game on Monday. I like that because we'll have Clippers Talk continuing. Good night, coiner of the Sky Jones. I like seeing Jeff Van Gundy coaching as well. That gets me going. Evil Bot said that. That's like 90s nostalgia, early 2000s. I liked him with Houston, with T-Mac and Yao. We'll end things with this. The final call. It's getting a little too much hubris on my side. I need to chill. But come on, guys. Give me some love. Let's throw it up to Sky Jones, and let's get this Clippers team back and into it to him on Monday.
99 all. The Clippers trying to come away with a win in the preseason contest here in Seattle. Williams to inbound, 4.2 to play. A bucket and the Clippers lead. Williams got to throw it in. Finds Miller, attacks the lane, lobs, Jones with a dunk, 2.2 to play. Timeout, Portland. Sky Jones with a hammer. The Clippers with a lead, 101-99.